I just wanted to say thank you for clicking onto my page on this video. Yes, I wanted to put some videos together about my experiences that I've gone through over my life. Mainly my intention is to help others, spread awareness and support, and I just wanted to be authentic. I am being authentic. It's the word want. Learning to change my language, how I speak to myself, speak about myself. Going from want to I am. Yes, I am sharing my experiences because I believe it's something that I need to do, and I do feel nervous, but that's okay. I'm okay. I'm good. Everything is a mirror. Everything in this reality is a mirror. That's what I'm learning. Everything's being reflected back to you to show you how your internal self is. And I only realised this in the past 3 years, 4 years maybe. Lockdown was the catalyst for my spiritual awakening. There's a point where I started to see things for what they really are. Everyone's reality is different though, obviously. Everyone's perspective on things are different. But I started realising how this world that we're living in is constructed. I do believe it's a simulation of some sort, a game, as they say. And I had a lot of time to reflect during lockdown, and ever since, to be honest. So I'm here now, sharing myself with all of you guys. I hear a lot about being authentic self, and I really believe that's the key to manifesting the life that you really desire, that you really feel that you deserve, that you want, and again, you really have. I've been learning that we are in different frequency settings, like a radio, and we need to tune our frequency to the setting of our desired outcome. And we do that by following our excitement. As Bajar says, this is what I'm learning. Yes, Bajar. I will talk about that later on another video. Today I just wanted to talk about how my reflection has helped me see why things have happened to me in my life. It's where to start really. I feel I've been called to do this. I feel it's my time now to let you all know what I've been through. And I'll delve into lots of topics like human design, synchronization, the power of now. I've written a list down of what I want to talk to you guys about. Today is about my dad, though. Me and my dad, I've never had the father-daughter bond. I've never really experienced that with him. When I grew up, my dad was in the house with me, but he never connected to me in the sense of a loving bond. There was a quite harsh connection. I had experienced a lot of criticism. I felt very disconnected within myself. As you are as a child, you look up to your parents for that connection with them to help establish your own identity. And being a child with a father that never really was interested in me, to play with me, to go out with family adventures, but I would also have be facing criticism every day of how I wasn't good enough and I wasn't doing enough. I created quite a high negative view of myself through the experience of me and my dad. And I started people pleasing, which I will talk about further in another video, but I started to feel there's something wrong with me because of the way I was being spoken to by him and treated. He neglected me quite a lot in the home, and yeah, verbal abuse in the sense of the criticism. Having days and days of that and years of that, my self-esteem never really developed properly, healthily. My confidence was low. Literally most of my life I've not been very confident in myself until the recent couple of years. I can feel myself right now. I just wanted to tune in and let you know that the feelings that I'm feeling right now. I have a tight chest. I feel a bit panicked because I'm being vulnerable here, and yeah, there's anxiety. Well, this is why I'm talking like I am, like in a slow way right now, because it's very important that I stay connected to myself whilst I voice myself. So yeah, so the relationship between me and my dad wasn't the best. I don't have many memories of my childhood. I've learnt that I was very disassociated with myself growing up. And I have gone to therapy, and the therapist had told me before that she believed there was an incident that happened before I was one that possibly could have caused my disassociation through trauma. I am yet to discover exactly what that is. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure because the memories aren't there. And it's very frustrating when you experience... you obviously experience your childhood, but you don't remember your childhood. And a lot of it was because of... I believe one of the aspects was because my needs weren't fully met by one of my parents. So needs are really crucial. I'm learning a lot about needs, and Tim Fletcher, someone I'm following on YouTube, he's amazing. I've literally just been watching this morning about the 12 needs. And if they're not met when you're as a child, then you could develop complex trauma. Which I believe I have experienced. So my needs weren't fully filled as a child, and you feel very vulnerable as a child. And having a father figure is in an ideal, healthy situation. You grow up to have that solid, stable foundation of the masculine in your life, and you have a clear picture of how the masculine is meant to be in your life in a healthy relationship. Grounding, stable, secure, protective, nurturing is more the mother, but you can be nurtured obviously from your father. And yeah, lots of playtime, rolling around, tickles, paybacks, just fun adventures with your dad. But mainly the masculine role is to be the provider and the protector. But I never felt protected. I grew up feeling quite insecure, very unsafe within my body. That's a huge key aspect of all of this in my life, is that I felt very unsafe. And I still kind of feel unsafe now, to be honest. However, it's not as much, and I'm growing out of this. My grief is profound in the past couple of years. The more I'm looking at things and realising things and putting pieces together, I'm learning that I am safe here. I've always been safe within myself, but I've never been able to learn to feel safe within myself. Now, it sounds like I'm blaming my dad for a lot of stuff here, and to be honest, I did blame my dad for a lot of stuff as I was growing up, because I fell into relationships that were very unhealthy for me. A lot of my relationships as I grew up were a combination of narcissist behaviour, neglect, and some abuses, emotional abuse, and there is some physical, which I will talk about another time. However, I blamed my dad for a lot of my situations that I ended up in after, when I started to go out and explore the dating life and finding partners, boyfriends. That's something that I did, and I was unaware at that time of why these things happen. Like I said, that everything's a mirror. I blamed him because, he was, in my eyes, he was meant to have done all these things as a father, and he didn't fulfill them. So I had a lot of hatred there, and I held on to that for years. The relationship, my dad left when I was the family unit when I was 12, and he went off with another woman, and it impacted the family, as you can imagine, in a really negative way. So I experienced abandonment from him also, like physical abandonment. He left the family and he didn't talk to me for years. The first initial contact with him when he left was okay. He tried to keep contact on the phone, and he met up every now and then with me, but he then distanced himself, and he never really bothered after a while, and he moved away. He moved up country with his new partner. So I lost the connection, and it did turn verbally aggressive at some point as well. And there was always a part of me as a child that I felt I needed to please him all the way through my relationship with my dad. I've always felt that I needed to please him, people please, because I didn't feel I was enough for him. And I'd chase him in the sense of messaging him and trying to chase him for attention, and trying to get him to come down and meet me, come down to Cornwall, because I live in Cornwall,